Alright guys, now that we have this Ryzen 7 5700G PC all booted up and ready to go, let's talk about a couple benchmarks real quick. Now we decided to test this PC in a couple of titles, those being Fortnite, Apex Legends, Minecraft, Rainbow Six Siege, and also a good old Cinebench run to see how powerful this Ryzen 7 5700G really is. First up in Fortnite on performance mode at 1080p, we averaged 100 plus FPS. A few housekeeping things to get out of the way, I decided to overclock the iGPU very easily from the motherboard's BIOS to 2000 MHz, which is a very mild overclock on this iGPU and works really well throughout my game testing. And also I'm running the XMP profile of 3600 MHz on the 16 gig kit that we have, and getting over 100 FPS in an esports title without a graphics card, it's kind of crazy. The Ryzen 7 5700G is not only a very powerful CPU where you could easily add a graphics card and have an awesome gaming experience, but the integrated Vega graphics work really well to play esports titles, as you'll see later on in the benchmarks and as you see right now in Fortnite. Performance mode is an absolute godsend for these APUs because it allows you to really get a lot of performance out of very little hardware, and these Vega graphics do a really good job at creating a high refresh rate gaming experience in a game like Fortnite, which is very popular in the esports community. Next up is a little bit more demanding of a game, Apex Legends, and we had to drop this one down to 1600 by 900, which is a little bit less resolution than 1080p, but on low settings we averaged a little over 60 FPS. Apex Legends is playable on this APU, which wasn't really possible for with older APUs from AMD. And the best part about these APUs is in some games you can actually get some really crazy performance because of some of AMD's awesome new features like FSR, which is Fidelity Super Resolution, which is basically an AI upscaling feature that allows you to render the game scene at a lower resolution and then upscale it to a higher resolution so it looks like it's native and give you the performance benefits of playing at a lower res. So that's something that's going to be coming to a lot of new games. So these APUs have a lot of potential in newer titles to be able to run games flawlessly even without a graphics card. And that doesn't mean that the 5700G is the only CPU that is capable of doing this. The Ryzen 5 5600G is also releasing alongside all the other 5000 series AMD CPUs, and the 5600G could be a much better budget option if you're not looking to spend as much money as the 5700G and still get very similar performance and a great upgrade path with a graphics card later. Next up, in a game like Minecraft, which you should expect to run on pretty much any PC, on pretty much max settings you get 100 plus FPS. Minecraft is a pretty easy game to run, but a lot of people like to play it, and if you're someone who just plays Minecraft, you don't really need to spend any extra money on a graphics card when you can pick up something like the 5700G or 5600G. Another popular esports title that people love to test is Rainbow Six Siege, and on medium settings with the built-in benchmark, we average 92 FPS. A game like Rainbow Six Siege would definitely benefit from some of the new anti-lag technology that AMD has to offer, reducing input lag and allowing for a better gaming experience. So if you're somebody who is a very competitive esports player, not only does the 5700G and 5600G have those features, a lot of the AMD hardware out there supports anti-lag, making for a much smoother and seamless gaming experience. And last but certainly not least, we decided to test the 5700G in Cinebench, and we end up with a score of 5,384. And look at this graph. Just see the progression of performance from the Ryzen 7 1700X, which is an AMD CPU I used in my personal rig for a long time. AMD has come a long way and have some top-of-the-line performing hardware, and these new APUs are no exception. And I'm very excited to do another build probably in the future with the Ryzen 5 5600G, because that thing is going to be really freaking awesome. And overall, I'm very happy with this PC build for the money. If you want to pick up any of the parts from today's videos, links in the description down below to pick up the 5700G and the other PC parts we mentioned in today's video. But I'm very happy we got the chance to take a look at this 5700G and do a really awesome gaming rig with it. So now that we finished the benchmarking section of today's video, how about I bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.